Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I have Donald Kelly, the sales evangelist, runs a sales podcast, LinkedIn influencer, part of HubSpot Podcast Network, and international sales trainer, author of Sell It Like a Mango. And I'll ask you about that later.
Let's do it.
So, how you doing today, Donald?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate you inviting me to be a part of your podcast.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining me. So, Donald, how did you get into sales and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I grew up in Jamaica when I was a kid, moved to the US when I was 9. Everyone around me in Jamaica was selling. This kind of ties back to the book, and we'll touch base on that in a little bit. But everyone around me was selling. It's not like the economy is great. It's a third world country. So people figure out ways to make things happen, right? Everyone has like a little side gig or a little business that they create. So in my mind, I always just affiliated the selling with entrepreneurship, being a businessman, as we said in Jamaica. So when I came to the US and I was like 9 years old, when I wanted money, I saw what people around me did. So I went and got candy and sold candy. I just kind of hustled like this. When I got into high school, did similar things, find opportunities, and eventually got into college. And my buddy was like, "You should consider a job in sales." And I'm like, "What is sales, man?" I never understood professional selling. So he guided me towards that, told me about it. And I found a couple gigs that I started doing sales with and really thrived. And then does a lot of business to consumer sales, like Dish Network over the phone, getting people to go to timeshare presentations, doing call center jobs. Eventually got into B2B and did IT sales training classes, and IT training classes and managed IT services. And eventually, when I got out, I went into the medical field and finally landed in software and just fell in love with it. So that was my journey into the sales. It was more of this idea of being an entrepreneur, and I think that's synonymous with being a sales professional. You have the opportunity to have earn commissions and to earn more than an average employee, and it just attracted me towards that and just being able to have fun and help people.
Yeah. Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video. No, and I think that that's true for a lot of us in terms of sales, is that we do want to help people. I think that's definitely, I mean, on one side you have the hustle, which all of us
Sure.
obviously love. On the other side, it's, and it is fun, right? On the other side, you do want to help people. On the other side, obviously, the financial aspect is there, and obviously it's important. And if you find out that you have a knack for it, then it can be very, very lucrative. Absolutely. So
100%.
now, of course, today in today's world, we are talking a lot about social media because I keep talking about it here all the time because I believe that it's the next frontier. I believe that that's where all the business should be going and looking towards building that identity. And the earlier they build it, the better. Because in the end, it's going to be something that's going to allow you to be on top. Because let's put it this way: none of us are getting any younger, and the younger generation is bringing social media and more up front. So if today you have your 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds using all these social media platforms, well, you know what? In 10 years, those are going to be kids that are going to be moving, or
Hmm.
those are going to be kids that are going to be buying those products. They may not be there today, but they will be there in the future, 100%. And of course, the older generation that's not using the social media now, well, in 10 years, they're not going to be using it either,
Yeah.
probably. So more and more, if today let's say 75% of people that are out there are using social media today, in 10 years that could easily jump to 85%, and then on and on and on, when we're going to get to a point where 100% of the population, unless of course you're under the age of 5, is going to be using social media in some way, shape, or form. And we need to be able to whatever our product is or service, we need to be able to get in front of that audience, right? So, in
Yeah.
your opinion, how does social media impact business today? Looking to revolutionize your moving business? Discover Movers Dispatch Board, a nationwide load board designed by movers for movers, connecting moving companies, moving brokers, and carriers. Movers Dispatch Board's mission is to provide a powerful national network of professional and reputable companies in the moving industry who are interlining and brokering household good loads. With Movers Dispatch Board, you can post and search loads, post trucks with available cubic footage, share essential documents, and review carrier performance, all in one incredible user-friendly platform. And the best part? You can manage all of this from your phone, tablet, or computer, giving you the flexibility and control. Sign up today and revolutionize the way you interline and broker loads, expand your market reach, and never run your trucks empty. Visit us at www.moversdispatchboard.com today.
I mean, I think it is the frontier. It is the place that everyone is supposed to be right now. Because if you go back, like say even 20 years ago, 30 years ago, people were the idea of using like billboard advertisements or doing like door to door leaflets and some of those other things using the phone. People gravitated towards that, even if they were kicking in and clawing, that they wanted to just keep doing stuff the old way, whatever that was before that. But the times change and times evolve, and that's the new billboard. There's a local company in our area called Good Greek. I'm not sure if you heard about them, but one of the things
No,
that
not
they
familiar.
advertise, they have a lot of their billboards. They do like they do things like official moving for like Miami Heat and Dolphins and things of that nature, and you can
Hmm.
see those. But I seen their TV ads as well, and I'm like, okay, those are good. Imagine those in shorts on social media, how much more impactful that would be. And it's just sometimes I think it's a generational challenge that we find, like people who are used to doing something this way. But the truth of the matter is, like you said, it doesn't matter. No matter what your demographic is, people are on social media. Whether you are older, you're boomer age, or you are young, you're on Instagram, and you have folks that are on Facebook. The concept here, when it comes back down to it, the reason why we look at some of those ads on, tolerate some of those ads on TV with some of these older companies, the thing that we appreciate about them is, okay, this is a little entertaining. They're making fun of something. Do the same exact thing on social, and all it is just a shorter period, period, and way cheaper than if you were to do it in the bigger picture and spend $125,000 on an ad campaign
You're lucky if
using
it's
TV.
yeah, and now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more. Exactly on social media, basically, what anybody that's doing social media marketing would tell you,
Hmm.
right? So they can use let's say you have X amount of spend dollars, right?
Sure.
Most people that are pros in that area, and I certainly have one on my end here,
Hmm.
but from the way that I understand it, and keep in mind this is my media space. I'm not the one that's putting stuff out there, but I
Sure.
understand the process. And the process is basically this. They're using third world countries where the
Hmm.
dollar goes farther. So let's
Yep.
say India, right? Where your $20 are going to go a heck of a lot farther than they would in US. And they use that market where they spend X amount of dollars that's going to get them 20,000 views versus 50 here or something like that, right? So you're talking
Hmm.
pennies to a dollar that they're spending to test out marketing strategies. And then once they test them out and they see that they capture the interest of the public in wherever it is that they're testing it out on, then they bring it here and it's already more focused. That's if it's done the right way, right? So
Yep.
it's more focused using your Google dollars or whatever else you're using. And
Yeah.
that I mean those strategies are not just because you're thinking, oh, maybe that costs. It's actually, if it's targeted properly, it
Hmm.
actually could cost you significantly less than you are thinking of a commercial today. Because yeah, now it's like, oh, they got commercials. Like for example, we're in Virginia, Maryland, right? We're
Yeah.
driving through Virginia. You can actually hear a commercial for JK Moving on the radio. Okay, I've
Mhm.
heard it on more than one occasion. But if you think about it, today, how many people are actually listening to a
No,
radio
not a
station
lot of people are not
driving
doing
through
that.
Virginia? Not
See,
really. Older generation, yes, but younger, they're listening to music, they're listening to, maybe they're listening to a podcast of some sort. Uh they're not listening to the regular radio, right? So right
yeah.
there, they're not hitting the market that they should be exploring more, which is the younger market. Those people are going to get older sooner or later. They're going to buy homes, they're going to get rent apartments, they're going to move. So for the moving industry, that's where you want to get into. That's who you want to get in front of.
Here's the thing that I've come to realize doing this for a minute, working with different organizations, is that salespeople want to sell, buyers want to learn. And that's just straight up the truth. Most buyers, they're not necessarily, unless they're ready to buy something today, the majority of people, they're willing to learn, however. So if you think about it in that situation, if I was a sales rep in a moving industry right now, the thing that I would do is look at what are the biggest problems people have when it comes to moving or things around the house. And you do content relative to that. So it's the same thing with B2B. It's the same thing in any other industry. That's why we like some of these reels and some of these TikToks that we watch over and over again, especially the DIY stuff. So here's 5 things you need to realize before you even think about moving. Here are 3 things you need to realize before you hire a moving company. Here's the number one mistake people make when moving, glass. Here's the biggest issue that happens when people are moving their couches. But if you give these tips away, it's like 99% of the time people are going to look at that tip and they're going to be like, man, that's dope. That makes total sense. And they
Right.
see you over and over and they associate you with that expertise. With the company, with Best Buy, when they started working with Geek Squad, the founder of Geek Squad, when he shared back in the 90s, I think it was in the 90s, to his friends, that I'm going to create this company where we're going to give tips away on how people can
Mhm.
fix their own computers. They were like, you're stupid. You're going to waste money. You're not going to make any money. People are going to look at these and do it themselves. And he was right. All of the friends were right because people did do that. But the majority of people looked at it and tried it and said, crap, I can't change the RAM on this thing. It's a little more complicated. But these guys do it so easily. Let me hire them. And that's what propelled it forward. And we see that in
Right.
our society nowadays where people try to, people will go in to look for content. So the thing is, everybody has a problem or they want to have a source where they can find information. Are you that source or are you just like self-promoting? The
It
idea with social, yeah, you want to give
right.
information that people can utilize that's going to help them, and that is that constant marketing. And obviously you're going to have your promo stuff that you might have, but the majority of your stuff should be what can I give away for free, not your services but your insights on what you can do. I mean, I'll give you a quick example. I used a piano company to move our piano once, and then my second time going around, I saw that I started watching some YouTube videos on doing it because I saw the guys did it. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that was pretty easy. I can do this myself. And I tried to go cheap. I ended up breaking the piano,
Mhm.
and it cost me way more than if I hired a moving company. So the next time I was like,
Yeah.
forget that, hired a professional. But the thing is, I got the information and it guided me, and I saw these professionals that they do it. So let me get them to come and
Right.
help us and so forth to do it. So,
Right. And that's actually what you're talking about right now is exactly what I was talking to with another recording that I just did recently. And he
mhm,
basically told me about I don't remember the name of the guy, but he said there was a plumber guy that basically came up with an idea of putting these shorts and basically to the extent of saying, okay, this is what you don't need a plumber for, and showing them how to
mhm,
change whatever, right? Change a pipe, change a whatever they're changing. But the point is this: at the time when he did this, he was running out maybe 2 trucks. Today, he's a huge plumber in that area that has 20 some trucks that people, after watching his shorts, they come to him because he put himself on this pedestal in comparison to his competition, where
mhm.
he is giving out these free tips to companies about how to do A, B, C, D, right? I mean, ultimately, it's the same thing I'm doing here with my podcast.
That's it. That's
I'm not,
all it is.
but
Yeah.
anyway, getting back to that. So, what strategies do you feel are most important when it comes to social media?
So there's a couple ideas. There's the 2 things that I would tell you: post relevant content And then the other, so we talked about that a little bit, and then engage with people on those posts, especially if you're posted on Instagram. There's not going to be like tons of, maybe you're not getting like, 100,000, or a couple hundred likes on a post. However, the people that are going to be finding that are and finding your stuff educational, they're going to engage on it. What I tell you is not to go pitch those individuals, but send them a personal DM, not a blast or anything like that, just a DM. So I might say something to the nature of, "Hey, Dave, appreciate your engagement on my post the other day about moving piano. Out of curiosity, you ever tried moving pianos yourself? Or, hey, thanks so much. Appreciate the tip. Appreciate you engaging on our posts. Any other type of content you want to see, or any type of other questions you have about moving? Well, people will engage with that because you're a human being. That they see that that you're approachable and that you can have a conversation. And it's amazing what happens. Because the problem that I find again is that with most salespeople or most business owners, they see someone do that, and then all of a sudden they send them a pitch like, "Here's a promotion for when you're moving." It's like, bro, don't even do that yet. Let's just have a conversation, and you converse with them, and then naturally you're going to say, is going to get to the point where they might ask, "Hey, I have a friend moving, or I'm thinking about moving, or I'm going to be moving. I'm going to use you guys or whatnot. Let me get your email address. Let's stay in touch for when that happens. Let's jump on a phone call so we can help plan that out for when that's going to happen." But the point is, you start the conversation, and if you did that, it will save you so much more money than to jump right into ads. Because if you don't have organic, any type of organic traffic, it's going to be really challenging
Hmm.
to just kind of go in and just let me go dump money into the ads. Start conversing with people, but engage with those people, engage on your posts. And if you did that 4 or 5 times, that's 4 to 5 calls that you probably could have right out the gate with individual without spending anything on a dime.
Right. And I am to a degree, I guess, guilty of that because I certainly if somebody shows some interest, I'm certainly offer, hey, this is what we do. But at the same time, guys, if you don't know this, I'm approachable. So you can
Yes.
write to me on Facebook, you can write to me on LinkedIn, you can set up a Calendly appointment, and it's not all salesy because my goal is I'm here for the industry. The whole point of this podcast is more so educational than anything else.
Hmm.
So I am more than being in the industry for 20 plus years, I'm more than willing to help and answer a question because, as far as I'm see it, I have a unique place in the industry at this point, which is
Yes.
educational. Yes, I know sales. Yes, I know moving. And I can talk to all of these aspects. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of social media today, so
Hmm.
I can talk about all these things. I can make suggestions. I have no problem helping people. So I'm certainly approachable. And
Hmm.
guys, for you professionals, if you do have something to bring to the table in terms of podcast, I do not charge you to be on my podcast. I do
Awesome.
not. And if somebody wants me on their podcast, I do not charge them to have me on their podcast. I'm not one of those guys that says, sure, I'll come on your podcast, pay me $1,800. I just had somebody
Yeah.
do that recently. I'm not going to say who, but that just happened recently on my end. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. That's not
Absolutely. I
cool.
think it's giving it's back and forth, like I'm willing to do that for free. I'm not, this is not something, this is not, I don't look at that as a money making opportunity. This is a fun platform. It's fun for me. Honestly, it
Yeah.
is.
I love it. Doing it the right way.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. And now let's get to something. Obviously, you're seeing in front of you in this podcast. You're seeing two people that are very comfortable within the space, very
Mhm.
comfortable talking to a lot of people. We're not, we're not having butterflies in our stomach, but that does not come naturally to everybody, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what Donald's background is in regards to that. I've mentioned on multiple occasions that once upon a time I used to be a theater major. So for me to
Hmm.
talk or to sing in front of, a crowd is not a big deal at all. But
Yeah.
that's not the case for everybody, right? So
Hmm.
if you don't feel comfortable putting yourself in front of people, but understand social media importance to your business, what can you do? What do you think, Donald?
One, yeah, there's a couple things that I would share. The first thing is just share curated content. Find people that are giving out some tips or ideas and share those. Or if you find any type of any type of article or any type of pictures that would resonate, go ahead and share that and then just give a little comment. You're not necessarily putting a video of yourself or whatnot, but just giving a little tip. You can also just write it out.
Mhm.
So if you do have on Instagram, you could write out some of those like tips, find a little picture and just write a tip. So again, if it's like moving a refrigerator, you can go ahead and do that. You can use Chat GPT. Everyone can download Chat on their phone. And then if you feel, I mean, obviously all of them, any movers probably know the answers to some of these, simple moving questions. But if you use chat, it also can give you some ideas, and then you can fill it in. So you might put like, you know, three equipments that you don't three appliances you shouldn't move with one person, and explain about those things. I'm making all of this up, right?
Right.
But you can do that with chat. What are some of those common questions? You can go to Google. What are questions that people have about moving? And you can go to chat, put
Right.
those
Or
questions
you
in,
could
get some
just have
ideas,
a
and fill those
video.
in. Yeah,
Right. You could have a video without actually saying a word, but using the text, just the same.
straight up,
Have a
easy.
video of your guys moving a piece of furniture or you moving a piece of furniture and just put the text, whatever it is that you want to
That's
put there.
it.
You could do it that way. You don't actually have to have a thing where you're speaking yourself. Maybe, I mean,
No,
honestly, maybe
definitely
you're not
not.
comfortable with the sound of your own voice, or maybe you have an accent, or maybe whatever the case may be, there's other ways around it. Absolutely.
Yes. And the other part to that too, the other you can do as well is follow the hashtags. Are there any hashtags locally in your area? So like for me, I'm in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, so I can put hashtag Palm Beach County, hashtag West Palm Beach or whatnot. And I can follow some of those hashtags that people that are, high traffic stuff, and just engage on some of those posts, like who has the audience, who has the watering holes, and be able to engage with some of those on those posts, and not saying, hey, come and check out our company, but just talk, comment on stuff. And if you do something simple like that, you'll be amazed of what kind of conversation you can start with other people, and they'll see who you are. And, obviously it leads to the DM and other opportunities.
Right.
But those are some things that I tell to people who are not confident doing things by
Right. And
themselves.
I think one of the things you also got to do is you be part of all those Facebook groups and whatnot, groups that are
Yes. Yes.
specific to your industry. So it doesn't have to be moving, whatever your industry that you're
No.
in, get in those groups, start chatting with those like-minded individuals. And frankly, to get yourself more comfortable with this in front of
Hmm.
people, I know it's going to put you outside of your comfort zone. But if this is where you want to go, despite not feeling uncomfortable, then you need to do something that's uncomfortable a little bit.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying jump in with both feet, into a podcast recording. No, but you can certainly go to networking events where you get to talk to a lot of these people in person. And yeah, initially it's going to be against your grain, and initially you're going to
Hmm.
feel some discomfort. But the more you do that, the more comfortable you're going to get.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
after you've done quite a few of them, you're gonna find yourself that, hey, I it doesn't feel that uncomfortable anymore. It's actually becoming kind of enjoyable when you get to converse with people that are like-minded, that are talking about the same industry as you. And then once you get to that point, then frankly, you're ready to do this.
I love it. So true.
I think it's also so shorts, make shorts about something simple.
Yeah.
How do you wrap a piano? How do you wrap a piece of glass? How do you wrap a TV? How do you take this down the stairs? How do you prepare it on a tight stairwell? What is it 90-degree angle? What do you do here? What do you do there? How do you take a piece of furniture out the window or out of the porch?
Yeah.
Little things like that you can get within 30, 60, 90-second windows, right?
Yeah.
They're short, and make them short and sweet. Don't try to over explain something that's simple to you, that's simple action, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the steps without trying to say too much, right? Just focus on the task at hand, right? And then if you want an actual episode where it's going to be 15, 20-minute conversation or soliloquy or monologue, whatever, you just talking about it, right? Then for something like that, you want to pick a subject that's passionate to you,
Yeah.
because something that you're passionate about, you're going to be able to rattle that off for 15 minutes and go on a tangent and be able to get that content without sounding stupid, realistically,
Yeah.
right? So you're going to be able to talk, and you're going to be able to talk because you're passionate about something. The passion is what allows us to talk about something a lot. The book that we're passionate about, the subject, the job, the place that we went to on vacation, our wife, our kids, whatever. You can go and tangent on things that you can really be passionate about. So I think
100%.
that's extremely important. And once again, I go back to another thing. I did a short on this not that long ago. Um, find to yourself, find inspiration on why you do what you do. And it's going to make your job, it's going to make your business, and it's going to make any kind of social media thing that you do that much more enjoyable and fun for you. You don't need a motivational speaker to motivate yourself. You need to
Mm.
find the motivation within you. Each one of you has something that you are passionate about, something that makes you tick, something that makes you do what you do every day. We all have that within us. And the quicker we discover what it is, the easier it's going to be. And frankly, you're not going to waste all that money going to listen to motivational speakers.
Truth. Truth.
Okay. But we can talk about this for a long time. We can go in circles. There's a lot of subjects here that we can visit with Donald, but we need to wrap this up. So Donald, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Gary,
I'd
thank
be
you.
I'd be ready to jump on yours if you'd have me. But either way, guys, thank you so much for listening. And as I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you for joining Let's Talk Moving. Donald, thank you and have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you.